Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Oliver,
Hi, I'm Lily.
and this is Science in Easy English.
Today we are exploring the science behind a truly universal feeling. Why does time speed up as you age?
You know, it's funny you say that. I was just sitting on my porch this past Sunday, and I had this sudden sinking feeling.
Oh, yeah.
It's February. I mean, the holidays feel like they were about 5 minutes ago, and yet here we are just barreling towards spring.
It's the Sunday scaries, but for your entire life.
Exactly. And it just got me thinking about being a kid, like 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I swear summer vacations felt like geological eras. They were just endless.
Oh, absolutely.
You could live 3 different lives between June and August.
Yeah.
And now,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I sneeze and I miss an entire fiscal quarter.
It's a feeling everyone knows. We all joke about it, right? Where did the time go?
All the time.
But the thing is, deep down, it doesn't really feel like a joke. It feels like a loss.
It does. It feels like we're losing something really precious.
Yeah.
And so the question we want to get into today is, are we? Is this just a mood, or is there something, I don't know, mechanical happening here?
Well, we've pulled a massive stack of research for this deep dive. We're talking physics, mathematics, neuroscience.
The whole gamut.
And the short answer is, you're not crazy.
That's a relief.
But the long answer is a bit more complicated. It turns out that time actually is moving faster for you than it is for a child.
Okay, wait. Not on the clock, though.
No, not on the clock, obviously, but inside your head. And we're going to look at this through 3 specific lenses today: the physics of your eyes, the mathematics of your lifespan, and the biology of your brain.
So our mission is to figure out if we're just doomed to let the rest of our lives blur by, or if we can actually grab the controls and, slow this train down.
And we can, that's the spoiler alert. But first, we have to understand why the train is speeding up in the first place.
Okay, let's start with the physics. I found this part fascinating because I always think of time perception as a psychology thing, not a hardware thing.
Right.
But there's a researcher at Duke University, Adrian Bijan, who says this is literally about the machinery of the eye.
Exactly. He makes this really important distinction between clock time and mind time.
Okay.
Clock time is what you see on your phone. It's objective. It ticks forward at the exact same rate no matter what.
But mind time is different.
Mind time is just a sequence of mental images. Bijan argues that how long a minute feels is determined by how many new mental images our brain processes in that minute.
Okay, let's unpack that. Mental images.
Oh.
So you mean like frames in a movie?
That's a perfect analogy. Think of your eyes like a movie camera. A high-speed camera might record, say, 100 frames per second. It's capturing a ton of data.
And Bijan's research says that young minds, infants, children, are basically these high-speed cameras.
Exactly, and it's linked to something called saccades.
Saccades.
They're the tiny, jerky movements your eyes make. If you watch a baby, their eyes are just darting everywhere, constantly shifting focus.
Right, because everything is new to them. They're building a model of the world from scratch. It's a chair, that's a cat. They can't afford to miss a single frame.
Precisely. They are acquiring a massive amount of visual information constantly. So their brain is recording, let's say, 100 distinct images every second. A single minute of clock time is just packed with data.
So when they remember that minute, it feels stretched out. It's like watching a movie in slow motion. You see every single detail.
Makes sense, right? Now, what happens to our camera as we get older?
The hardware starts to lag.
It does. As we age, our neural pathways get more complex, but they also degrade a little. The signal just has a longer, more tangled path to travel.
So the processing speed slows down. We're not the high-speed camera anymore. We're the old webcam buffering on a bad Wi-Fi connection.
That's a brutal analogy, but yeah, pretty much. An older adult perceives fewer new images in the same amount of clock time. So if your brain is only snapping 10 pictures a minute instead of 100.
It seems to have vanished. It's like a time-lapse video, where a flower blooms and dies in 10 seconds. That's what's happening.
It really reframes the whole experience. It's not just that you're busy, it's that your present moment, the actual slice of now that you experience, is physically less dense than a child's.
That is slightly terrifying. It sounds like a hardware failure we can't fix.
It is a bit of a hardware issue, but even if we could fix the camera, we'd still have to deal with the math.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
The math. This is the part of the research that gave me a bit of an existential crisis.
You're talking about proportional theory.
Yeah, or log time. It's actually a really old idea from a French philosopher, Paul Janet, way back in 1877. So People have been freaking out about this for a long time.
It's comforting to know we're not the first generation to feel this. So what was his theory?
It's deceptively simple. We perceive time relative to how long we've already lived.
Okay, break down the numbers for us.
All right, so imagine you're 5 years old. One single year is 20% of your entire existence. 1/5 of your whole life.
Wow, that is a massive chunk of time. If I told you to wait in line for 20% of your life, you'd lose your mind.
Exactly. To a 5-year-old, a year is an epoch. But now, fast forward. To a 50-year-old, 1 year is only 2% of their life.
And to an 80-year-old.
It's a tiny fraction,
Right.
barely a rounding error.
So our brain is constantly comparing the now to the total, and because the total keeps getting bigger, the now keeps feeling smaller.
Correct. Our sense of time is logarithmic, not linear. There's even research from the University of Helsinki that suggests an inversion point around age 20 to 30.
Why that age specifically?
Well, that's considered the age of mental maturity. Before then, our sensitivity to time is really high because each year is still a big slice of the pie. After that, it starts to decrease, and then it just plateaus.
So mathematically, the years literally are worth less as we go on. We're experiencing the hyperinflation of time.
That is a perfect way to put it. The value of a year is crashing the longer you're in the market.
But hang on. I get the physics and I get the math, but if that was the whole story, then every year over 40 would feel exactly the same, but they don't. Some years drag, some just disappear. There has to be a psychological part to this, right?
Oh, absolutely. And this is where it gets really interesting because this is the part we can actually control. We have to talk about the holiday paradox.
I love this concept. It explains so much about my vacations.
Well, this goes all the way back to William James in 1890. He wrote about the monotony of memory.
Monotony, that's the key word.
Right. Think about your daily routine. You get up, brush your teeth, commute to work, sit at your desk, commute back. You've done it 1,000 times.
I can do it on autopilot. Half the time I pull into my driveway and I don't even remember the drive home.
That autopilot is your brain being efficient. Dr. David Hamilton explains that when you experience something new, your first day at a job, learning to surf, the brain says, whoa, this is important. I need to record this in high definition.
It's writing deep grooves in your memory. It's using energy.
Right. But when you're doing that same commute for the 10th year in a row, the brain says, I know this. I don't need to waste energy. Just use the cached file for 2015.
So it literally just stops recording new data.
It records a faint trace. It's a compressed file. So when you look back at your week, this is called retrospective judgment. That whole week of routine just collapses into a single memory. You think, where did the week go?
And the answer is your brain only saved about 5 minutes of unique footage from it.
This creates a weird paradox, though, doesn't it? Because usually when I'm bored, time moves so slowly.
That's the paradox. When you are in a boring situation, like a kid on a long car ride, time drags. That's boredom. But because nothing new happened, your memory compresses it later, and it seems like it just vanished.
Conversely, a fun vacation flies by in the moment because you're having fun.
But because you did so many new things, saw a volcano, ate weird food, got lost, when you look back, the memory is huge. It feels like you were away for ages.
So we want time to pass quickly in the moment, but feel long in the memory.
Exactly. The more information you process, the slower time feels in retrospect. A routine life is comfortable, but the years just collapse.
This connects perfectly to that other concept in the research, the reminiscence bump.
Yes. This explains why we're all so nostalgic for our high school and college years.
I just thought I liked the music better back then.
Well, the music was better, obviously. But statistically, adults over 40 have their most vivid, most accessible memories from the period between ages 10 and 30.
And why that specific window?
2 reasons. First, it's about identity. That's the era where you're forming your narrative self. You're deciding who you are, what you believe.
And the second reason?
It's the era of firsts. First car, first love, first heartbreak, first real job. It's just a period that's absolutely dense with novelty and high emotion.
And then we turn 30.
And the novelty subsides. We settle down. We run out of firsts. So as we move further away from that dense cluster of HD memories, the current routine years just slip by faster and faster.
The bump explains why the past feels so heavy and detailed, while the present feels light and fleeting.
That's a great way to put it. It's like the past is written in stone and the present is in disappearing ink. But we're not done. We've covered physics, math, and psychology, but there's a biological clock ticking, and we need to talk about what winds it.
You're talking about dopamine.
I am. There was this really interesting experiment from Brazil by a researcher named Ferreira.
I remember reading this. They had people count time in their heads.
Yes. They took people of different ages, had them close their eyes, and mentally count out 120 seconds, 2 minutes. Just feel the time.
Okay. And the results?
The younger people, under 30, were pretty accurate. They stopped around 115 seconds, close enough.
Not bad. And the older group?
The older group, people over 50, stopped, on average, at 86 seconds.
Whoa. Wait, let me wrap my head around this. They thought 120 seconds had passed, but only 86 seconds had actually gone by.
Yep.
So their internal sense of time was just rushing ahead of the real world.
It implies a desynchronization. And the researchers link this directly to dopamine. Dopamine basically drives our internal clock.
I usually think of dopamine as the reward chemical, from eating chocolate.
It is, but it's also the chemical of novelty and attention. When we're paying close attention to something new, dopamine is firing. When we're in a routine, dopamine drops.
So because older adults generally have lower dopamine transmission, their internal timing mechanism gets thrown off.
Exactly. When your internal clock ticks faster than the real clock, the world seems to race past you. Your mind time and clock time have uncoupled.
It creates this feeling that the world is speeding up and you're just trying to keep up.
Okay, so let's just look at the battlefield here. We have our eyes capturing fewer frames.
That's the physics. Then we have the years becoming a smaller percentage of our life.
The math.
Our routine is erasing our memories.
The psychology.
And our dopamine is dropping, throwing off our internal metronome.
The biology. It really feels like a conspiracy of nature to rush us to the grave.
It does feel a bit hopeless. But, and this is the most important part of this whole deep dive, we are not helpless.
Okay, good. Because I was about to go have a lie down. How do we fight back? How do we slow it down?
The answer is in what we just discussed. Neurogenesis and novelty. You have to force your brain back into HD recording mode.
I need to manufacture firsts.
Yes. You need to break the routine. I don't just mean take a different route to work, though that helps. I mean, you need to challenge your brain.
Yeah.
You have to make it struggle a little.
Struggle.
Think about learning a new language or trying to play the piano for the first time. It's hard. It's frustrating. You have to pay 100% attention.
You can't do it on autopilot.
Exactly. That struggle forces the brain to process huge amounts of new information. It turns that high-speed camera back on.
It's funny because we usually avoid that stuff as we get older because it's effort. We like our comfort zones.
But that comfort zone is what's making your life disappear. Comfort is the accelerator pedal for time. Novelty is the brake.
That is a huge insight. So if I want this weekend to feel long, I shouldn't just sit on the couch and watch the same show I always watch.
No, that will vanish instantly. Go somewhere you've never been, cook a recipe you've never tried, talk to a stranger.
This also has to relate to mindfulness.
A huge factor. Mindfulness is just paying attention to the here and now. Most of us are constantly engaging in what they call mental time travel, worrying about the future or replaying the past.
I am definitely guilty of that.
When you do that, you miss the present. You aren't recording it. Mindfulness anchors you in the moment, forcing the brain to process the sensory details of right now. The smell of the coffee, the sound of the wind, that attention creates memory density.
There was also a point in the research about social connection that really hit home.
Yes, especially after the last few years. Loneliness really distorts time. For people who were isolated, time dragged in the moment. It was agonizingly slow. But because there was no novelty, no interaction, whole months just disappeared in memory.
Because every single day was exactly the same.
Right. Social interaction provides unpredictability. You never know exactly what a friend is going to say. That unpredictability is novelty for the brain. It marks time.
So hanging out with friends isn't just fun, it's actually extending your perceived life.
Exactly. We need other people to help anchor us in time.
So let's recap this perfect storm of aging one more time. What have we learned?
Okay, let's do it. First, physics. Our visual processing slows down, capturing fewer frames per second.
Second, math. Each year becomes a smaller percentage of our total life, so it just feels less significant.
Third, psychology. We run out of firsts, we get stuck in the routine trap, and our brains stop recording in HD.
And fourth, biology. Our dopamine levels drop, which throws our internal clock out of whack with the real world.
That's a perfect summary.
But the silver lining is that we are the architects of our own time perception. We can't stop the clock, but we can change our mind time.
Exactly. By filling our lives with variety, learning, maybe a little discomfort, and emotion, we can stretch our experience of the time we have left.
It really makes you want to cancel your streaming subscriptions and sign up for a pottery class.
It really does. And before we go, I want to leave everyone with one last provocative thought from the research. It's a bit of a mind bender.
Okay, lay on me.
If time perception is strictly proportional to age, and if our processing speed changes so drastically, does that mean a 5-year-old and a 75-year-old who live through the same calendar year are actually living in two completely different temporal realities?
You mean, is a 5-year-old's year literally longer in terms of experienced consciousness than the 75-year-old's?
Yeah. Are they technically living more life in that year than the 75-year-old? It implies we're all sharing the same space, but we're not sharing the same time.
That is something I am going to be staring at the ceiling thinking about all night. The idea that we're all time travelers moving at different speeds.
It's a trip.
Thanks for diving in with us.
See you next time on Science and Easy English.